Hi fantasy managers, and welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video I'm going to go through my Game Week 32 team selection. I'm going to talk about captaincy, which is quite tricky this week I think. I'll look at different transfers and talk generally about my chip strategy. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, please give it a like, don't forget to subscribe, and in the meantime let's take a look. So it has been a couple of weeks or game weeks since I've last updated you on my videos, and we've had Game Week 30, Game Week 31, and I have pretty much tread water for the last couple of weeks. Went down about 3,000 to 95k in Game Week 30, then I've gone back up now to 86,406 in Game Week 31, and it feels a bit unambitious to say, but I'm fairly happy with that now because I've still got my wild card. And a lot of people have used it in 30-31. So the fact that I've just trodden water and managed to stay with them and even increase my rank, I am pretty pleased with. This week, I pretty much owe it all. Not just a Palmer, I'd say there was a bonus sort of clean sheet for Zabani, but Garnacho, who's been brilliant in the last sort of 7 to 8 weeks that I've had him. He's dead cheap, playing every week, and 2 goals against Chelsea was fantastic as well. The captaincy didn't go well with Salah. A lot of people would have been stung by that as well, though, so perhaps not a complete disaster. Darwin and Salah were both my transfers for Game Week 31. Still leaving me with quite a bit of money in the bank. And in terms of the other players, Taylor didn't play on the bench. Cash injured still. Saka surprisingly left out, and he's a doubt. And Areola's gone as well. So all in all, half decent game week. Pretty much happy to get any sort of green arrow. Up to 86k, which I'm reasonably happy with. I have 1 transfer and 8.3 million in the bank. So with all that bearing in mind, let's have a look at how I'm shaping up for Game Week 32. In defence, don't feel like I've got a lot of choices. Areola has been made unavailable, so he would have been my choice instead of Dubravka, but Dubravka now starts away at Fulham. I don't hold a lot of hope out for that. Cash is injured, and I just don't want to play Taylor, Burnley defender, away from home, or even at home. I'm not interested in playing. So I'm going Porro, Gabriel, and Zabani. Decent fixtures. I think Gabriel, Arsenal best defence in the league. Quite possibly keep a clean sheet, although you would expect Brighton to still make chances and score. They're just a side that score goals. Zabani away at Luton, I would again expect Luton to score goals there. And Porro, his attacking threat has really been nullified since Maddison's come back, with him taking set pieces now. So he's quite an expensive asset sat there in a defence that's not keeping clean sheets, and he is not getting the numbers to justify his attacking threat as well. So I'm not mad keen on keeping Porro, but I do have other issues that I have to address really for double game week players. So he's going to play. Anything he picks up will be a bonus. I'd say out of all 3 of them, probably go for a Gabriel getting the most chance of a clean sheet. Haven't looked at the odds. And then Porro maybe. Zabani just doesn't offer a lot going forward. So though I'm going to go with the 3 at the back. In midfield, I have a bit of dilemma. And because this dilemma, it's really making me think that I'm just going to roll this transfer this week. Palmer's going nowhere. He's got Sheffield United away, especially after he's got his hat-trick during midweek. Garnacho is one that I'm a bit unsure. It's not a great fixture at home to Liverpool. Can I see Man United scoring? Yes. Garnacho's just come off a brace at Chelsea. His numbers look good. I don't want to leave him out the side. And Son and Salah will definitely play, and they're not going anywhere. Saka, the words were he is going to be assessed in Friday's training. So we're not even sure if he will play. My gut feeling says that he just gets wheeled out for every game. So he will more than likely, I would have thought, start for Arsenal. I think the fact that he didn't play or was in the squad in midweek, given that Kivior and Rice and other players were dropped or rested as well, just feels a bit of a coincidence. I think Saka possibly, I don't know, could have played in midweek, and he will likely play at the weekend. But if he comes in, I don't really want to drop any of those midfielders. So possibly up front, even though I've got him benched at the moment, Darwin goes nowhere. Solanke and Morris are playing each other, and they've both got green fixtures because of it. So Solanke away at Luton or Morris at home to Bournemouth. I'm not sure which one's more likely to score. They're both on pens. I would say Bournemouth, given league table and Solanke's goal scoring record, it just look a better side. But it is at Luton, and Luton will score, you feel. So Morris could be a differential pick. But then Solanke just seems like the obvious choice. So it could well be Saka comes in for Morris If Saka isn't available, I think even if he comes off the bench, he's more likely to get me a return possibly than Morris. So could well drop Morris and bring in Saka. We'll wait until the last possible minute, I think, to do that. In terms of captaincy, wow, this is the hardest captaincy decision. But sometimes you get difficult ones where it's between one or two players. There's three players here, Palmer, Salah and Son, and I just do not know which one to go for. I think a week ago, I would have gone Salah without a question, maybe. Without a question, I think I would have had some doubts, but I would definitely have gone Salah. Maybe it shouldn't influence us, but Palmer's hat-trick definitely is in the back of the mind. And the fact that Salah came off early, before 60 minutes, the reasons behind that, was it because the game was still in the balance at the time? Is it, I wouldn't say a lack of faith in Salah, but just a question mark over Klopp's, how he considers Salah's future, maybe? Or is he just thinking about Man United in advance? But the game was still 1-1 at the time. So I'm just a bit unsure if he's resting or taking Salah off early for that game. If it's not going to plan against Man United, could he do the same again? So that's just burning a lingering doubt in the back of my mind. Palmer will play 90 minutes on pens, no question, and as will Son play further forward on pens. And the thing that Son's got, even though it's a harder fixture, you'd say, at home to Forest than Sheffield United away, is that he is at home. So I am tempted to go. I'm always talking myself out of Salah here. I'm tempted, even though I've put the armband on Salah, I am tempted to take it off him. Just because I think if things weren't going well during the week against Sheffield United, he took them off. If they're going, is it because of fitness or just lack of confidence? I just find either one a bit hard to believe. But he has come back from injury. So either way, I don't want to put it on someone who's only played 60 minutes. And it feels like a bit of a knee-jerk reaction because that's the first time it's happened in a long time. So maybe Palmer or Son is a better shout. I think it's a really tough call. And it's one of those where I think it could make or break your weekend. Hopefully they'll all get 10 points and it doesn't really matter. But it could be that one of them double-digit hauls and the others don't. It could be a huge week or it could be a disastrous week. But it's nice to have these sort of decisions. And often I think that you have these captaincy decisions. And the fact that Haaland's a doubt as well, I feel kind of takes that decision away, a captaincy decision away from Haaland as well. So it is nice. But which one to go for, I just don't know. And I think it just goes down to the old adage, doesn't never judge a decision on its outcome. And I think if you went for either one of those three, I don't think you can be blamed for getting it right or wrong. It feels like it is potluck when it comes down to him. Some of the home fixture maybe just edges it. But Palmer's been brilliant, but he's so reliant on penalties, and Chelsea just can't keep getting them, can they? The other choices that I have as well is that I've got looking at transfers. I do have one transfer that I could use. I am, given that I have enough players and even potentially benching Saka to play 11 quite comfortably. But I can roll it, which seems like the obvious choice. But I have half an eye on Game Week 34. I want as many double game week players as I possibly can for Game Week 34. And as you can see on the screen, I've got 6. I've got Cashew's out. Son probably won't play in Game Week 34. I'll wildcard in 35, so it doesn't really matter about any of the fixtures beyond 34 for me. I will, if with the 3 transfers in 33, 2 and 1 in 34, if I roll this week, that will put me up to about 7. Is that right? I've got 3, so I've got 6. 3 more will get me up to 9, rather. That sounds better. So I'll have to have 2 players that with a single game week. And I think that'll just have to be the goalkeeper. And Garnacho's got the best fixture, so I'm not taking him out. I'm certainly not going to sell Palmer, so he'll have to go on a bench. Because he got too much money invested in him, and I want him back for 35. So I don't want to take him out for 34 and then bring him back for 35, because I'll lose about $500,000. That makes no sense to me. So really, I've got 2 players, or Porro, Cash and Taylor, that I can get rid of, and Morris as well. So defensively, players that I am looking at, 8 Nori, 4.7. Really cheap. Attacking numbers look decent. His fixtures look good, and he has that double in 34. He is. I wouldn't look at him in terms of clean sheets, but he's been playing much further forward for Wolves. But the problems I have with him is that Cunha's coming back and Hwang's back in training. So if they both come back and Sarabi keeps his place, where does he fit into that Wolves side? So an extra week to have a look at that could be quite crucial or important as to whether I have him for game week 34, because both those home fixes, Bournemouth and Arsenal, yeah, there is a clean sheet in there you'd say for potentially Bournemouth, but not for Arsenal. And if he hasn't got any attacking potential, then possibly I'll look elsewhere. But for 4.7, he's cheap. He's got 2 goals in the last 3 games. That doesn't include his FA Cup goal as well. So he's definitely one that I'd like. But I don't feel like there's a lot of sense in bringing him in now. The other choice could be is Kivior. Now, he didn't start in midweek. 4.4 is even cheaper. Underlying stats again look decent. He's got more assists, got a goal this season as well. So he does have a attacking threat of such. Double game week in 34, away at Wolves, at home to Chelsea, and they are just simply the best defence in the league. Rested or rotated in midweek, but he played the 6 games before that. So I wouldn't mind seeing if he comes back for Brighton, is he that first choice fullback? And does he come back for Aston Villa? So I think, again, not much point bringing him in this week. The extra information I could do with knowing before bringing him in, because I want every one of my double game weeks playing in that double game week. And finally, the decision I've got to make is about Haaland. He is expensive. We know how good he is. He's got away at Palace. I haven't had him for probably 7 or 8 weeks now, and I feel like I have got away with it. But that Luton game at home is coming up, and I'm just not sure if I really want to go without him in that fixture. If I do bring him in, then I do have to accept that I'm sacrificing a double game week player for game week 34. He has got Brighton away, so you think there's goals in that. But the fact that he was rested, or he was on the bench, so he must have been fit during the midweek game. So that makes me wonder, is he absolutely nailed on for Luton at home? If he doesn't play against Palace, and we've had this with Pep before, where he's in contention, he's a doubt, we'll see how he feels, almost leaving it up to Holland, and he didn't play for weeks on end. Could it be another situation like this? With the Champions League as well coming up, whether or not they are just protecting him a little bit for that. There's enough doubt at the moment for me to think that he potentially, I don't want to take the risk of bringing him in for Luton. If he plays against Luton, he's going to be captained, 71.8% owned. He could really hurt me. But then I'm going to lose that in game week 34 as well. At the moment, I'm tempted to just go without him, which seems crazy, but we'll wait and see at the weekend. I do have 2 transfers next week, so I could change my mind on it, and I guess if he goes and gets 4 goals against Crystal Palace at the weekend, then that will pretty much make my mind up. But if he doesn't start, get minutes against Palace, then yeah, I think he becomes a real potential just let ride for game week 30. Just don't bring him in for 33 against Luton at home. But that's my side, and I don't feel I'm going to roll my transfer. Potentially captaining Son, and Saka comes in for Morris would be my only changes. Let me know what you think. That's it for this one then, guys. Let me know in the comments below who you are captaining for game week 32. It does feel like an important but very difficult decision that could make or break your game week. And then also let me know what transfers you're making. I'd love to hear about your chip strategies as well. In the meantime, we'll come back at you with normal transfer list, watch list, team selection, all that good stuff next week. So make sure you hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe. And good luck with your game week 32, because I shall see you on the other side.